We're back. It's Rimworld. So I decided... So to be perfectly honest, I felt like the last episode was pretty hard to follow. And I think the main reason for that is... not a lot happened, so it was kind of hard for me to pick good stopping points, so we kind of just blasted through 90 minutes of playtime without a whole lot happening, and maybe that'll happen sometimes, but one of the things I thought would help is, instead of the entire episode being recap Duff, I'm going to do an intro to the episode, so you are listening to real-time Duff. I'm about to do about an hour of playtime. I figured out I misspelled Isaac after looking. It turns out Isaac is spelled with 2 A's, so sorry about that. And I'm going to go in and change that right now. And the other thing I wanted to mention is, so I thought I was really clever in episode 2 and 3, using overlay of the game sound as just like a little bit of background music while I talk. But what that's bad for is like alerts, and there were times where there's like a gunfight, like I'm defending one of the raids, and you're just like listening to the sound clip of machine guns going off, and it's like, what is happening? This is very confusing. So I'm going to do a new overlay where I just overlay with P music, and I'll give them credit in the videos, but it's basically just a Rimworld mod that adds really good music. And yeah, that's about what I want to talk about, so we'll let recap Duff take it from here. Alright, we are cruising. It's time to explore these ruins. I kind of wanted to see what else was in the ruins, so that's what I'm doing. Running around looking at stuff. We're pretty much just resupplying ourselves with chem fuel. We finally landed in a location that has trees, I noticed, so we're going to get some trees going on. I also wanted to check kind of what our ideology is. So a couple things I've noticed is we like to eat nutrient paste, so nutrient paste dispenser is actually insane. I guess we don't like it, but we don't mind it, so it doesn't have a negative. So our stove is pretty much just for Psych IT. And we've got enough drugs kicking around that everybody's pretty happy. For some reason, I really don't understand why. They kept social fighting over and over here. Like, Isaac fought Mcduff, and then Fortune Favors fought somebody, and like everybody's damaged, and I looked at their social to like try to figure out why they were fighting, and they all have each other in like good regards, so I don't know what that was all about. I don't know why they decided that the ruins is the place for a basement fight club, but here we are doing some fighting. So not a tremendous amount going on here. Just kind of doing the same stuff we've been doing. Not really sure what to add onto the ship. Oh, that was a 3-star boom rat raid. I took it because any Manhunter pack is basically just extra defense if you close your doors and trust that your people are happy enough that they're not going to break down and walk outside. So I felt like we could get away with it. But not too exciting here. The main goal is to get enough chem fuel that we can head to the grab core. And I also thought the ruins itself was a very interesting map. Like, if I wasn't doing a ship playthrough, that might be a place I'd like to settle, because you have these like complex structures that you could just kind of clean up and then live in. I think that'd be a really cool thing to do in kind of a future playthrough. So here we have some wanderers wander in to be like temporary helpers. It's Lara. She's here to help. And, you know, I figured they could go chop some wood, go plant some stuff, maybe explore some ruins. I have them kill a swan that immediately rots, which is not particularly beneficial. And I was like, well, I can use this rich soil. We can get a whole bunch of rice going, like, and then these temporary workers pay for themselves. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna explore some more ruins. I immediately walk over a hunter trap, and Lara dies. And then the other one is mad and leaves. Is like, why did you let that happen? I didn't even realize that traps could be in there, so it's kind of funny that I explored like a bunch of ruins with my colonists and never did that, and then the second I did it with the temporary workers, it was just like, goodbye. So here we're going into kind of the coolest part of the run I think I've done. This is getting the grav core. So our goal here is to get the grav core from the mechs. I didn't realize this would be different. I guess a mech relay versus whatever this was called, mech platform. I guess the mech platform means it's... Yeah, I guess it makes sense that that's different, but I did not realize that it was going to be different. I thought I was going to be fighting the array. Here I was a little bit worried for Miss Chips. Like, Miss Chips is holding down the fort and is incapable of violence, so like, if Miss Chips were to get like a siege or something, I don't really know what we'd do. I think Miss Chips would probably just take off. But yeah, I didn't expect the raid to be as big as it was, so I was like, man, I hope that doesn't keep happening while these guys are out here trying to destroy this. So I start kind of exploring it, and then I realize, wow, Mood is really... They hate it here. I'm still unclear why they hate it so much, but I think it's just like, it's taking me a decent amount of time, and it's dark, so I set an area for them to be, and I'm like, alright, we gotta just like build some temporary structure. I try fishing for the first time. Fishing seems really cool, but every time I've used it, they spend so much time fishing that it is not a good source of food. And I don't know if it's just because I hear Mcduff goes berserk, so we have to take him out the only way we know how, beat him down with our guns. Luckily no permanent damage. But everybody's getting like super sad. Except, of course, Fortune Favor. She's having a great time, but that's because she's a night owl. And it is nighttime currently, I think. This is a new biome, by the way. So the purple mushrooms are like a new... It's almost like a better ambrosia from what I could tell. It makes them hallucinate, which I don't really know what that means as far as I could tell. Like, maybe they'll have a break or something every so often. I never saw it. I never saw any downside to them hallucinating, but we'll see. I mean, I'm sure it does something. I just didn't experience it or didn't notice it. So it didn't seem that bad, whatever it was. Or whatever it is. Yeah, so I'm basically just running around. I'm trying to build a shelter. I'm trying to get some food going on so that everybody can stop being so sad. Because I realized I opened a room up there and there was a bunch of mechs, and then I looked at the size of this thing and it's like, I'm not gonna try to just push through mechs when everybody's like about to break. That's how I just die, right? So there I set up. I'm gonna hunt here. Miss Chip's back here having the time of her life, but it is something that I have to watch because she keeps getting events too. The ship kind of takes care of itself though. Like, with just one colonist, the raids should be small enough that any attack will just get handled by the traps, and luckily Miss Chips is also our constructor, so she has no problems setting those traps right back up to keep protecting herself. So I think for away missions, this is like kind of the setup. It's really good. Miss Chips is also, I think she's our best pilot. I'm not sure who is actually better between her or Julio, but she's one of the good pilots, so if she needs to, she can fly away by herself and land the ship to a decent effect. Has a decent ability to pilot just by herself. So times are once again tough. This time mood is the problem. Oh, and there was a Shambler announced, and I completely forgot because I was like looking back at Miss Chips. So then the Shamblers were at my door, as they often do. But it was not too big of a deal. We dispatched them pretty easily. It was only 2 Shamblers. Like, they're not. I was kind of surprised that in this area, like, events happen and traders happen. It's like it's a map instead of an event in that regard, because event maps, I'm pretty sure you can't like trigger a trader coming to trade you while you're like raiding a pig farming area or something, you know. So here Miss Chips had something bad happen, and I was like, all right, we're gonna do it Star Trek style, and she's gonna come land right next to where they are, pick up the away team. So I thought that was cool. Nice little like lore accurate thing that Miss Chips can do. All of the thrusters broke because she of course crashed it instead of landing it decently, but what are you gonna do? You're a pilot by yourself. It's not easy. The reason I would have liked to land directly on the map, like with the event where it's happening, because then my colonists, instead of living in this little wooden shack, could just go get in the spaceship, and that would have been a lot easier. The reason I did not do that is because I've been playing around with that on other just kind of other playthroughs that I'm not really recording, just messing around with mechanics and stuff. And when I land on an event map, sometimes it will make it so when you leave the event map, it doesn't register that you have a colony at all, and it just like deletes your spaceship and all your people and basically immediately ends the run. I've had that happen twice. So I'm very hesitant to go into event maps. I might, if I really want to do it in the future. Here I'm waking up the mechs. We're going to have a fight. I didn't see all the other mechs, especially the Militors. I didn't see them at all, so that went horribly. Fortune Favors got shot like 16 times, but luckily she's tough also. So she's a really good colonist. This was a creep joiner that got mad that Miss Chips didn't talk to them, so they're gonna run over a trap and die off map. So I was kind of doing stuff on 2 fronts here. I decided to retreat and reevaluate how I was gonna break into this, but I did find the grav core, which is what I was trying to find. So yeah, I was like, why isn't this guy attacking me? And it turns out he decided to take like a 12-hour nap before he was going to walk over a trap and kill himself. So I was trying to figure out how do I get this Scyther, and I thought this would work, but then there was a wall there, and then I was like, well, I don't want to shoot that wall because I'm in this little tunnel. I would rather, if I'm going to break a wall, I would rather break a better wall. You can also see we got, well, except for Fortune Favors, who is currently mental breaking, we got our mood kind of figured out on this map. We got food going, we got mushrooms going, and we got a nice enough little base that they had beds to sleep on and they had flowers to look at, so they were content. Scyther comes out and gets dispatched by the bulk goods trader that came and gave me some pemmican, which I appreciated. And then we're gonna go up and once I think I'm just waiting for the EMP right here, if I remember correctly. Because Fortune Favors is a pretty important, especially if we're fighting multiple mechs. We need to have that. We need to have that stun. It's just detrimental, especially with Scorchers and stuff. I was very worried about the Scorchers. Everything else I didn't care too much about. And there's a mech serum. I'm not sure how this gets destroyed. As I rewatch this, it must light on fire. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. It's got fire right next to it. There it goes. Yeah, so that was stupid. I should have picked that up. That would have been really nice to have a mech serum, but instead I just let it burn. I'm watching it. Did a nice little choke point thing there. Patted myself on the back. Didn't take too much damage. Got a little bit of Scorcher burn, but nothing we can't heal through. We also have medicine, so even if we got an infection, it's not the end of the world. So, yep, I go back up, and I still haven't noticed that the res serum's gone, but there it goes. I take 2 extra shots from that if I didn't try to micro it at all. I just over-microed Fortune Favors so much that... And then that was scary. I opened that door, and I don't know what comes out of those, but I'm pretty sure it's mechs, so I decided I wasn't going to mess with that. This was a judgment call because there's 2 Scorchers here, but I really wanted whatever was in those boxes. And at this point we hadn't found any panels, and I was kind of hoping there would be panels, so I was hoping for panels in those boxes. I don't know what comes out of them, but as you'll see here pretty soon. Oh yeah, we have to destroy the turret. Well, I'll just tell you. It's panels, guys. They all had panels in them. It was amazing. It was like a Christmas morning for the old spaceship. So we have so many new activities that we can do. And I was pretty happy with myself not taking too much damage from the turrets. And look at those panels. Holy smokes, we got panels for days. So next episode we're definitely going to be expanding the spaceship. I would like to make it so that maybe like double our power and get some real hydroponics going on. We're going to need to get more going to need to get a lot more steel for that, probably more components. The way we can fly around and land everywhere though, like that seems totally fine, totally doable. But yeah, I do hope they like look at event maps specifically, like deleting your ship. I'm sure it's something that they're working on, because it happens common. It happened to me twice, and I've only been playing this for like a day, so it seems to be very common. And yeah, I'm sure they'll get it fixed pretty quick, because I know there's not supposed to be anything where like, oh, it deleted your ship because you landed on an event map instead of on a real map. So then we made it back, and that's about it.